Hello everyone, it's Popular Paxton here, back with a new discussion video. So today I'm going to be discussing the first 6 engines in the new line of Thomas Wooden Railway for the year 2022. So, like I said, there have been 6 engines released so far for the new style of Wooden Railway, the comeback of Wooden Railway, technically, because it's no longer called Thomas and Friends Wood, it's back to Thomas and Friends Wooden Railway. So, we've got Thomas, Gordon, Percy, Rosie, Diesel, and James. Now, I bought all these engines off of Amazon. Some users on Twitter are saying like they found these engines at their local Barnes & Noble, and I haven't been there in a while, so I didn't go there to see if any of these were there. I bought these all off Amazon. So, let's get started. So it would make sense that we start off with Thomas first. So, there are quite a few differences with these new Wooden Railway items than the old ones we've gotten in the past. So, for starters, the faces here are like 2D printed. Let me just grab my Mattel 2013 Thomas from a bin over here. Here we go. So yeah, you can see the faces are 2D printed rather than like with the mouth being like a bit of a mold into the face. The faces are all just a 2D print. So that's one difference. I mean, I'll go about with a few different opinions on different engine faces, but I mean, I guess I'm okay with this Thomas face. I mean, if he was looking straight ahead like this Thomas, it could be a little better and I mean like maybe adjust the smile a little bit or something. I mean, yeah, these faces are not all perfect by any means. But anyways, they've also got their buffer beams painted. They could have at least gone a little bit further to add like a coupling hook. And then on the side here, they've got impressive detail with like the railings to grab a hold of and climb into the cab, and these, I don't know, what they call rivets or something, I don't know, I don't really care right now, but all these like details that were added onto some engines starting from like season 23 of Thomas and Friends. And anyways, he still got boiler stripes, plastic coal, rather than just like no coal piece at all, which is another change. He's got a bit of a ledge back here, which kind of reminds you of the old Thomas Wooden Railway models where they had like a thing on the back here with a little thing on top of the ledge. Some people call it a widow's peak. I don't really get why they call it that. But anyways, the wheels are another big difference. They look like accurate train wheels, not like these wheels here that have these things on the, like, basically these things right here. The wheels look a bit bigger now and kind of a little, I don't want to say off, they're just not quite the same. So that's kind of like another little flaw on these trains, really. But anyways, yeah, Thomas has these wheel arches now. While this one, if you see the wheel arch right there, but it's not like up here. So yeah, that's another difference. Now, trying to make a size comparison, like are these new trains longer or the same size or shorter? If I can just get it lined up enough, these new engines are just a tiny bit longer. But anyways, Also, with the steam engines, you can kind of see it, but there is like a glow coming from inside the cab, like the burning firebox with it being open and the coal burning. That's what people say, and I guess they think it's a cool feature. I guess I would maybe agree, but I don't know if it's absolutely necessary by any means. And then another difference on the bottoms here is how the names are printed. They're printed like this rather than like this. So yeah, and then the wheels are actually dated too. If my camera can maybe focus. I don't know if it's going to, but it's kind of doing it. I mean, you can't really see it that well, but the wheel was dated 2020. So I don't know if that's when these models were starting to be made or something in the factory. But they can more be dated 2022, since that's when they first started coming out. But I mean, this kind of thing has happened before with engines starting from 2003 just being dated 2003 on their wheels, clear until 2013 when the engine started saying 2012 on the wheels, but then it stayed that way again for the next few years. But anyways, that's Thomas, so let's move on to our next engine. Alright, for our next engine, let's do Percy here. So Percy is different from his regular model in quite a few ways. So first off, his face is not actually a happy smiling face. He's got a shocked or a scared expression, which best shows his personality, where he's like a scaredy engine, always believing in silly things like ghosts or monsters or trolls under bridges. But anyways, he's also got like a firebox glow on his cab. Here's his coal bunker. I actually just noticed it's kind of sticking a little bit out past the back of his bunker here. I don't know if that's like some, I doubt it's an error, but yeah, it's just a little awkward. I don't know if that's the word. But anyways, here are his wheels, and he's got like a different chassis compared to like his old model, which is like a regular 6-wheel chassis but with no wheels in the center. It's more to accurately match Percy's chassis in the show. So there's this dome, and he doesn't have a ledge on the back, but he does have buffer beams on the front. And yeah, they could have like gone to add buffer beams on the back too, but yeah, they're not perfect workers, to say the least. But anyways, yeah, let's get on to like a gripe I have about these engines. One of the gripes I have is that for some engines like Percy, and then others include Gordon, and then even some other engines that haven't been released yet, like another one is Edward. But some of these engines don't have smiling faces, and there doesn't appear to be any like different versions of them as of right now, because the Wooden Railway line is just getting started. But there don't appear to be any versions where we'll get like a smiling version of these characters, and that's a pretty big flaw in my opinion. I mean, if you want to use these in your videos, you would want them to be happy for the most part. I mean, who's gonna want to like use this for an episode and have like Percy just be like, oh no, for the entire video that he's in? Like, that's not really what you want to do when you make videos. So yeah, because if you're wanting to like use these models in your story and try to use them in all the stories to keep it consistent, it helps if the models are actually smiling for them to make it pretty good. I wouldn't say perfect, but a smiling face makes a video, a story like 10 times better than if you were using a model with like a scared face or a sad face, or yeah. So that's Percy right there. And then a couple more things I'll quickly point out about Percy. If you look at his chassis here, you can kind of see that it's a bit different. It's not like a straight block of wood on the bottom. It's kind of angled a bit at the front and back. And then another thing about his wheels is that they, unlike Thomas here, so you can see these things on Thomas's wheels, these little blue things in the circle part, those are, I believe those are called counterweights. And Percy doesn't have them on his wheels, but that's actually accurate to his actual model. He's not supposed to have those like counterweight things, from what I saw on Twitter in someone's post. So that's a little bit of effort to getting some of these engines accurate. Now let's move on to Gordon. So like Percy, Gordon doesn't have a smiling face. He's got like his typical or classic, oh, the indignity face. So that's like another flaw. I mean, it's the same kind of flaw. It's like what I just said about Percy. But anyways, Gordon has got a unique chassis. Well, I mean, like, he's got a set of 4 wheels here for his trailing wheels, I think they're called. And then he's got his main driving wheels back here on a 6-wheel chassis, like his actual set of wheels in the show. Now his chassis are made of plastic, like how the 2013 Wooden Railway engines were, and like into 2014 too, I believe. But anyways, he's got the firebox glow, he's got the details on his boiler and on his cab, and there's like even some of his side rods. And then his tender is different too. Rather than a 4-wheel tender, it's got 6 wheels. So yeah, Gordon's tender. So yeah, that's really it on Gordon here. Now let's move on to Diesel here. So much like the 2013 Mattel Diesel and the wood version of Diesel, this Diesel does not have a grumpy face, but this face is a little more fitting compared to his last 2 faces, because he's got like a devious smirk on his face, which is fitting, but it could be more better if it was a grumpy face. I mean, yeah, like the Bachmann range had a happy face Diesel when they brought him into the range, but then later on they like made like another version of Diesel with a grumpy face. That's what I know. And so yeah, I mean, yeah, so Diesel has got some impressive details, like his side rods here. This thing right here is like sticking out rather than just being printed on the side here. I'm gonna have to hurry this up a little and like put the video on pause after this one because the battery's running low. But anyways, he has the buffers on the front but not on the back. There's his detail on top, and there's his wheels. So Diesel was the first engine to come in the mail for me from Amazon. I bought him, Thomas, and James at the same time, but Diesel was the first to arrive. Next, let's move on to Rosie. So she was the last engine that I received in the mail. She and Percy came on the same day, which was yesterday actually, April 6th. So yeah, she was the last one to come in the mail though, but Percy arrived a little earlier in the day. But anyways, Rosie has got, she's also looking to her left. Her eyebrows are a little not centered, and what I mean by that is that this one is a little raised above this one. You can probably barely see it, but she does have like blush on her cheeks beneath her freckles. And anyways, she's got buffers on the front. No coal on her bunker back here. She's got her 3 domes, her detailing, and her red color number 37 NWR Northwestern Railway. But they failed to like put her lamp on top of her funnel here. And that's funny because 2 upcoming engines in the range, Hero and Nia. Hero has his lamp on in front of his funnel, but Nia doesn't, and neither does Rosie, which is pretty weird. But anyways, here's Rosie's wheels. And yeah, that's pretty much it on Rosie. In terms of which model would I use in future videos, while this is a nice model, I'm still sticking to my custom Rosie that was painted by Riotron 12. I would still stick to that model because it was a commission, and it's a bit better than this one because of these wheels are a little too big and she's looking off to her left, and it's got, and my custom has a lamp on the funnel and all that stuff. And now for our final engine for this discussion video. Here's James. Sorry. Anyways, so James is also pretty different from his first Wooden Railway model, because for one, he's got 8 wheels instead of 6. This is to make him more accurate with his wheels in the TV series. So he's got 2 bogies, and there are his side rods, by the way. I could have wiggled on that, but he's got big wheels on the back, big wheels up here, and then smaller wheels up here to make it more accurate. And that's impressive, I guess, just like Gordon over there. I honestly thought when I first saw James's model that I thought his wheels were going to be more like in the style of Murdoch's chassis, where the big wheels are on a 6-wheel chassis at the front, and then the smaller wheels are on a single piece chassis at the front. Yeah. So yeah, I thought like these were gonna be a separate piece that were stuck up here, and then these 3 were all gonna be one chassis piece back here, but apparently not. Then here's his tender. It looks a little weird with like this gap in the middle here. But anyways, it's got coal in the tender. He's got his buffers, firebox glow. Really nothing else I can go about since I've pretty much covered most of the details for the past engines I've been showing. So that's all 6 engines of the first wave of the 2022 Wooden Railway range. So yeah, I want to thank you for watching, and I can just go about this other update right now, I guess. But you may be wondering, when am I going to make new episodes? It's been quite a while, quite a few months. The last episode was released in August of last year, and it's already April of 2022. Well, let me try to explain what's going on. Right now, we're trying to make new episodes. I do have a few ideas for stories I want to do, but what's kind of keeping me from doing these stories is not just because I've been busy with my job and other things, including making videos that aren't train videos, but I've been trying to make this decision for a little while, but I'm wondering if I'm kind of wanting to like try to once again like start fresh on a new series. I mean, I've kind of got a couple of things I'm trying to decide. One, I would wonder if I would want to make like a new version, like a reboot sort of Medieval Misadventures, so I can like try to go back to using some original characters, like particularly the good trucks and the bad trucks. But another thing I'm trying to decide is starting fresh on like a new real kind of Thomas series where the trucks don't move, there are humans around, something like that. But basically, the reason why I'm trying to decide about that is, like, what I'm trying to decide of doing is making a new series where I'm doing some original stories, but I'm also trying to make like versions of episodes that have aired in the actual series and trying to like make changes here and there to the stories, like how I would maybe have done the story or something. I hope this is making sense, but just doing episodes and like Railway series stories too, like my own way, kind of. I've just not been able to make the decision yet, but what would you guys think on like me doing like a new version of Medieval Misadventures, as well as like trying to do like an actual series that uses the same, most of the same episodes from the actual Thomas and Friends series, but it also has changes made to the story to make them different, and there are still original stories here and there. But yeah, what would you guys think of that? You can just try to let me know in the comments. So yeah, that's why I haven't been getting to any new stories lately, mainly for that reason that I'm trying to make that decision. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Oh, and I also recently gotten a white-faced Charleston truck in my collection now.